Good morning, 8th grade. Today and tomorrow, Wednesday, we are going to take a look at verb forms, progressive. We have studied simple tenses, present, past, and future. We have studied the four principal parts of the verb, where we discovered that by adding ing to the verb and a helping verb, we get the present participle. And by adding ed to the verb and a helping verb, we get the past participle. Today, we're going to use that present participle form to make the progressives. And it really follows the same pattern throughout each of the three forms. And by the end of our lesson today, our goal is to be able to understand what the three patterns are to form, number one, the present progressive, number two, the past progressive, and number three, the future progressive tense. On the top of your page, inside of the box, you will notice a definition and a listing of these three progressive tenses. I have chosen to combine all three into this one lesson because I think it's easier to remember. As we're going through this, some of you might be remembering that this lesson is the same as some of the material that we went through last year as 7th graders. What we're going through today is review. You've had this at least one time before. So let's go back and let's review how we form these three progressive tenses. The key to forming these progressive tenses lies in selecting a helping verb to match present, past, or future. Number two, to take the base verb. And number three, to add ing to each of the base verbs. All three progressive forms are formed the same way, by taking the base verb and adding ing. So whether it's present, past, or future progressive, the verb will always be like painting or jumping or running. The only difference will be the helping verb that comes before it. And these are the same helping verbs we've used in the past to designate present, past, and future. There are three helping verbs for present. You see them here in the middle of our page. Am. I am painting. You are painting. He or she is painting. Is, am, are the three helping verbs that go along with the verb and the suffix ing. Past. Past progressive. Past progressive always uses the verb plus ing and was or were. I was painting. You were painting. He or she or it was painting. Was or were plus the verb plus ing is the past progressive. Once again, I've selected to add future onto this page. It makes good sense to keep all three of them together. So in this box right here, I have future progressive always uses will be. He will be, they will be, it will be, I will be. It's always and only just will be plus the verb plus ing. So if we were to use painting, You would say, I will be painting. You will be painting. He, she, or it will be painting. We will be painting. You will be painting. They will be painting. These examples at the top of the page, you'll be seeing at the end of the week when we go through a review. As you see here, what we're talking about today is our lesson for today, Tuesday the 8th, and tomorrow, Wednesday the 9th. So whether you decide that you're going to complete this or finish this out either today or tomorrow makes no difference, but this is what we're doing over the next 2 days. So taking these three forms brings us to a chart that I've decided to make on my paper, and it's a chart that you may want to make on your paper too. I've just made a box over the top, and you may just care to write your answers over the top of the lines that are on your paper. Instead of following the directions there, which are kind of confusing, we're going to practice forming all three progressive forms from the verb that's in italics in the sentence. And all of the present will be the same in that they are going to be is, am, or are, plus the verb, plus ing. The past, all of them will be the same. I don't need to be redundant and repeating each one for each of these numbers. I'm just making a little chart here. And will be is the future. The verb is always the same, whether it's present, past, or future. So the rain hindered our plans yesterday. What's the verb? Hindered. What is the base? It's hinder. How do I form the progressive verb? I add ing. Hindering. So is, am, are hindering. Was, were hindering. Will be hindering. So what should I do? I'm suggesting you make yourself a little chart right here. Put these three linking verbs to the left, these two in the middle, and will be to the right. You don't necessarily need to use different colors. I just did it so that you can see that we have three different columns. And we're only going to write the word once because these helping verbs are the present, these are the past, and this is the future progressive. Number 2. I see Carl's father greets visitors at the door. What's the base word? Greet. How do I make? It's the verb plus the correct ing. Greeting. I already have my helping verbs in place in my chart. This is present, this is past, this is future. Again, you might be saying to yourself, I remember this from last year. Or if you don't remember, you might be saying, oh, this isn't so hard. No, it's not. So, pace, P-A-C-E. But in order to add the ing, I need to drop the E. So, pacing. Again, the helping verbs present, past, and future. Is, am, are, pacing. Was, were, pacing. Will be, pacing. I'm only needing to write the verb once. Placed. Place. Plus ing. Take away the E. Placing. Each of these sentences has a verb in italics. I'm taking the base form and I'm adding ing to it. My helping verbs are already in place for present, past, and future. Missing. Move. Moving. Survive. Surviving. Regulate. Drop the E. Regulating. Heat. Heating. So very quickly, I was able to identify my verb, and I was able to take the base, add ing, and that makes the progressive form. And when I add a helping verb, is MR, it makes it present progressive. When I add was, were, it makes it past progressive. And when I add will be, it makes it future progressive. Now, as I notice in the word progressive, it means progress. So that means something is happening. When is it happening? It's happening in the present. It's happening and continuing in the past or in the future. That's what progressive means. Progress, an action that is occurring, or an action that has occurred at some point in the past, or an action that will occur in the future. Present, past, and future progressive. If you look to the back side, class, you will notice that I have replicated the columns is, am, are, present, was, were, past, and will be, future. And what we're looking to do is to identify these verbs in each of the sentences that are in italics. All of the verbs in the sentences, as were before, are in italics. And I want to complete, and I want to do the same thing that I had done on the front side. So I take a look at my verb. It says labor, laboring. I've got all of these headings there, so I'm ready to go on to my next one. Recommend, recommending. Oops, I missed one. I better go back and fix this. Number 11. Registering. Number 12. Recommending. Now your assignment is to go down and to finish. Find the base word of the verb, add ing. You've already listed these 3 columns. And when you finish putting all of these down, you will have a chart. And in this chart are listed all of those forms: present progressive, past progressive, and future progressive. When it comes time for our test, our last week of school before we have our Christmas break, we are going to have a test, and you're going to be recognizing the verb tense or the verb form, and it'll be pretty easy to do on account of the fact that if it has a helping verb and an ing, it's a progressive form. And next week we're going to learn about the last one that uses the past participle form. So we'll want to be practicing this, and then you'll easily remember that. Once again, we've already completed our assignment for Tuesday. We've begun our assignment for tomorrow, Wednesday, and that's simply finishing out numbers 13 through 36 on this side. Again, feel free to make yourself this little chart here, and when you finish, you can place this right back into Tuesday's folder, and then I can score your papers on GradeLink. Again, don't be looking for a video tomorrow. We've accomplished Tuesday and Wednesday's work here all in one. On Thursday, There is an IXL review that we will be doing on these progressive forms. As a matter of fact, we're going to take 2 days, Thursday and Friday, for that review, and then we will be wrapped up for this week's work with our progressive forms. Thanks for your attention today. Be sure to have a great day.